Here's something nobody tells you when you invest in a professional website. And truthfully, it might be why so many small business owners feel slightly disappointed after launch. Most people expect their websites to work like a light switch. You flip it on, and boom, instant leads, instant clients, instant return on investment, money coming out of your ears. But here's the truth. Your website is more like planting something in your garden. You invest up front, then you water it, you tend to it, and then one day when you wake up, you realize that there's this beautiful flower or a beautiful, piece of vegetable or fruit out there, and it's worth 10 times what you paid for it. Today, I thought it would be fun to share a realistic timeline for when your website will actually pay for itself. Because once you know what to expect, it takes away all those second guessing thoughts in your brain. And you start to work with your website instead of wondering if it's working for you at all. So let's get into it. Welcome to Website Design Made Simple, the podcast for busy small business owners who want a high-performing website that converts and sells their offers, even while they're sleeping. Because you deserve to have a strategic and beautiful website that truly represents your brand and positions you as the expert that you are. I'm your host, Jenny B, web designer and creative director at Jenny B Designs, where we believe that your website is the one thing that makes you sales and builds your brand at the same time. Ready to say goodbye to a website that you're embarrassed to share? And hello to a money-making, personality-packed powerhouse? Let's head into today's episode. Welcome. I'm so happy that you joined me today. We're talking about return on investment for websites. And this is my jam. This is what I do. If we haven't already met, quick intro, I'm Jenny B and I own Jenny B Designs. And I adore building websites that truly reflect your brand, your unique personality, and attract your ideal clients and make you money. And return on investment is what I want for you and your website. I want to talk a little bit about why a website return on investment is different than other areas that you might invest in. The closest thing I could think of is Facebook ads or Google ads, something like that, right? You are spending money on a Facebook ad. Maybe you're putting in $500. And once you get that ad going, you're going to see results within a couple of days, a couple of weeks. You spend money, you're getting the clicks, you can measure the conversions, it's direct and it is immediate. And that's the whole point. You're paying these ads so that people go over to your website. You can see it. Your website, however, is a little bit different. It is more like hiring an employee. In fact, I always talk about your website being your greatest employee ever, working for you 24/7. When you hire an employee, you don't expect them to pay for themselves in the first week that you hire them, right? There's that onboarding, that learning curve, and then there's optimization. And it's that compound effect. What makes websites different is that they compound over time. Every single piece of content you add, every testimonial, every blog post, every location page that you do, every Google ranking improvement, it is all building upon itself. The more visitors you get, the more happy Google is with you. You go up in the rankings. Like it's this compounding effect. So your website, when you first launch in month 1, is doing one level of work. But by month 6, it's doing in a significantly amount more. And, by year 1.5, it is working so hard for you, more exponentially harder than it was for you at launch. And your website, it contributes to revenue in ways that could be hard to track. There's the direct inquiries, the ones that come from your contact form or when someone actually buys something. That's easy to see. But then it also helps you close sales that perhaps have started even elsewhere. That's harder to seize. It builds trust before you have that first discovery call, and this is invisible, but it is so critical. It's such an important piece of the puzzle. It also qualifies those bad fit clients. It saves you time and it saves you money, and it supports your social media efforts and your networking efforts. This is the multiplier effect for that. The point being is that website return on investment, it isn't always a straight line from dollars spent to dollars earned. Now, when I say paying off, what does that mean when I say, is your website paying off? I think there are maybe 3 different ways that you can measure this return on investment. The first one is the obvious one, direct financial return. If you spend $5,000 on your website When do you get that 5,000 back in revenue that you can attribute to the site? And for most of my clients, this happens within 3 to 12 months, truly. And here's the key. It's almost never one big client unless my client has a large ticket item. But more typically, it's usually, 2 to 4 projects that come through the website that make the money back for my clients. So here is an easy example for you. I had a client, she was a bookkeeper. We spent about $6,000 on her website. Within 4 months, she had signed 3 new monthly retainer clients. Packages were about $500 a month each. So that's $1,500 a month in recurring revenue. So for her website had paid for itself in 4 months. And now every month after that, it was pure profit. That is just an example of direct financial return. Same thing goes for some of my clients that have larger ticket items, right? If we spend about $5,000 on the website and you have a package that's worth $5,000, one extra client is going to pay for this website, the direct financial return you'll get on that investment. Now, the second way to measure it is the time savings. And to me personally, I think this is a really big one. To me, my time is my most important commodity. I spend so much time trying to optimize my time in ways that I can cut and automate so that I can get time back because time is important to me. I have a lifestyle business. And this is one people tend to forget about. Before you had a professional working website that you knew was working for you, how much time were you? Or question, are you, if you don't already have that website that's working hard for you, how much time are you explaining your services over and over again to people when you get on that call or when you meet them in person? When you're sending long emails, answering basic questions because they can't find the information on your website. You might be dealing with inquiries from totally wrong fit clients that just, can't afford working with you, can't afford investing in your services. They don't understand the process. They aren't quite right fit clients. And you're spending a lot of time dealing with these inquiries and having conversations. Or you're apologizing or making excuses about your website. A lot of people spend a lot of time doing this. Don't worry about my website. Go over to my social media, check out my Instagram, or, follow me on LinkedIn. That has the more up-to-date information. You're making excuses. And this comes up in conversations a lot when this is you. And it has that like mental toll. It's time and I think mental energy, truthfully. And if you have a strategic website, it handles all of that for you now. It is working while you sleep. It is pre-qualifying leads. It's answering everyone's FAQs and taking away that mental stress and that mental load of knowing that you don't have a website that's set up properly for you. If your website saves you 5 hours a week of explaining or qualifying or taking out some of that mental space and your time is worth $100 an hour, right? A lot of us is worth much more. Then that's $500 a week, $2,000 a month in time saving. $5,000 website, it pays for itself in 2.5 months. I think that this is a big one. And I think we need to remember that your website, it gives you back time. And then the third one, this isn't a tangible one, but it is also very important. And it's the confidence. So hard to remember. How do you value not being embarrassed to share your website? How do you value showing up differently in networking because you are proud of your online presence? Explaining about your new offers to someone you meet at that networking group and not having to say, oh, but don't go to my website because it's not on there yet. Or don't go to my website because you're not going to get the most latest information or you're not going to be able to contact me. You're going to show up differently if you're talking to someone about this new offer that you have. And then you say, well, yeah, go check out my website, jennybdesigns.com, and you'll find it under services. You can read all about that new service. Imagine raising your prices because your website positions you as the expert that you are. That is a huge one. I can't tell you the amount of clients who have worked with me. We've created their website, spend so much time talking about their process and putting that starting price and their packages and listing it on their website. And then they get out there and they realize, you know what? I think that it is time that I raise my prices. I am an expert in what I do, and I want to attract these ideal clients, and my website is helping me do that. And then finally, I mentioned this, the time saving. but the mental energy you get back from not worrying about your website. Okay. I've had so many clients tell me that after their websites has launched, they've raised their prices because they felt like their online experience, their online presence finally matched their expertise that they were able to offer to their clients. And if you do this, your website is going to pay for itself so much more quickly than if you didn't have it done and it didn't give you that boost of confidence. It's all that compounding effect. Now, the timeline expectations, and this is like just to outline something just so you can have an idea of when things happen. When you launch, okay, this is like the setup phase, and I would say like it's month 1 to 3 or so. And I'm specifically calling out month 1 because sometimes people are like, I got this new website, I launched it, and then it's crickets. Yeah, it takes time. We've got to build on it. So that first month 1 to 3, what's happening? You're putting your website out there. We're submitting your sitemap to Google. You need to get indexed by Google again. And this, it's up to the Google gods, however they want to do it. But I would say typically it takes a couple of weeks for you to finally get indexed, for Google to read your pages, to know, what the latest you is about. It starts to build your initial traffic patterns. Who's coming to your website? Where are they coming from? How long are they staying on your site? Things like that. It's learning what questions visitors have when they come to your site and what pages people are actually visiting. Now, for your inquiries, if you are actively promoting it, and this is important, I mean like talking to people in networking groups, having the one-on-ones, sharing it out to your email list, sharing on social media, you'll probably have a few inquiries, but it's going to be a little bit quieter. And this is normal in the beginning, right? You need to be sharing it everywhere, telling your network we're starting to build. Months 3 to 6 is where I see your website really starting to work. Things are starting to click. Google is ranking you for those keywords. Your content is getting found. People are staying on your site longer. Maybe you are writing more content for your blog or creating some location pages, so you're constantly telling Google, we're in business, we're doing more things. I would say if you're still doing the sharing that you were in the beginning, meeting people, telling your network, and Google is starting to rank your websites, you're going to start seeing more regular inquiries now. It's going to increase. And month 6, it's really going to start working for you. Google is catching up to that word of mouth spreading. Now, months 7 through the rest of the first year, your website should be hitting its stride. This is where this compounding kicks in. You maybe have added some new testimonials. It's always a good thing to do, keeping those current, those blog posts, written a couple of case studies. Google is ranking you. And, you can tell by month 12 if your website is going to hit that return on investment or if something's off. It could be either with the website itself, it could be with your marketing, or it could be with your sales process. There are so many factors in this. But if your website hasn't paid for itself by month 12, then it's time to assess, okay, what is it? What is not working in this process? For most small businesses, okay, if they close about 20 to 30% of their inquiries that they have a year, and let's do an example, like if your average project is $3,000 and your website costs $5,000 to build, you need about 2 to 3 closed projects from website leads to break even. And that should happen within the first 12 months. Absolutely. And if it hasn't, then something is off. Like I said, we need to look at the website. We need to look at your marketing and your sales process. And one of those is out of line. Now, after year 1, this is like where it starts to get really good. And I'm not talking about a website that we build and leave. Like I'm talking about a website that we build and then you're constantly checking, constantly adding to, constantly changing and updating. But after year 2, like after year 1, right? So after that time period, this is when it gets good. Your website should be bringing in multiples of what it cost you annually, because it shouldn't be costing you much. You invested in that first year, and then after that, this is just where it's working for you, and I want it to keep working for you. Now, what are some things that slow down this return on investment? The first one is you're not promoting your website. I built something free for you and I want to tell you about it. It's a bot and it's called the Homepage Clarity Check. What happens is you drop your website URL into the bot, it reviews your homepage the way a website strategist would, like me, and it tells you what a new visitor actually sees, what's working, and what to fix first. You can find it at jennybdesigns.com or click the link in the show notes. Now back to the episode. Someone works with me, spend $5,000 on a beautiful website, and then we don't tell anyone about it. We don't tell anyone we launched. We don't get out in the networking meeting and share with all our friends and our family and everyone that we meet that we updated our website. We just update our website signature and call it a day. Your website is a tool. It's a tool in your tool belt, and tools only work if you use them. When you launch that website, you need to update all your social media profiles. You need to tell your list, share it on your networking groups, put it in your business cards, mention it in conversation, tell the person off the street, like whatever you want to do, tell your friends, send out an email to your friends, sharing the website and say, if you know of anyone that this might benefit, like share it with them. If you're not driving traffic to your website, it can't do its job. You need to be promoting your website when you launch and going forward, always sending traffic to your website. The second kind of return on investment killer, if you want to call it that, is your sales process. It might be broken. And this is what I talked about a little bit before. Sometimes your website is doing its job. It's bringing in the leads. You're getting those inquiries in that contact form, but you're not closing them. If you are getting, 10 inquiries a month, but you're converting 0 or you're converting 1, the problem probably isn't your website. It could be your follow-up. It could be your pricing. It could be your sales conversation, your service offering. Your website cannot fix a broken sales process. It can only bring you opportunities. And then the third reason, it could be the wrong traffic is coming to your website because you have the wrong messaging. Maybe your website is ranking for keywords that bring the wrong people, or it could be that your messaging is attracting not ideal fit clients. Instead of buyers, you might be attracting clients who are in that browsing phase or people who aren't aligned with your investment. You could be seeing a lot of traffic, but no revenue because of this. And think about your content. If you're ranking high on content for something like that has the word free in it, like perhaps you're giving a free template and you start ranking for that. Okay, you're going to get a lot of traffic, but you're going to get a lot of traffic from people who don't want to pay money for anything. So think about what kind of traffic you're getting and what does your messaging entail. And you can see maybe if you have the wrong messaging or wrong traffic, that could be contributing to why you are not getting a return on investment on your website. And then the fourth is that you haven't optimized your website based on real data. And I've been saying this the whole time. We launched it, but it's not one and done. It needs to always be updated and changed. When you launch it, it's at version 1.0. But if you're not looking at your analytics regularly, testing your calls to action, updating your website based on questions people ask you on the call, if you have a consultation call and someone asks you a question and it's not on your website, add it to your website. Constantly be updating it. If you're not updating it, then you're leaving money on the table. Small tweaks on your website can have a huge impact. Now, how do you accelerate this return on investment? There are a couple things you can do, and it all pertains to updating your website, keeping it active. The first one is adding testimonials and case studies. Don't wait until you have like 20 testimonials and then go in and update all of your testimonials. As soon as you get one from a good client, like you just finished with Sally yesterday and she wrote you a review, go to your website immediately. Write about it. Write about the project. Write a case study. Add the testimonial. Social proof is the fastest way to increase conversions. And every testimonial you add to your website, it increases that trust and it increases that conversion rate and it speeds up return on investment. The second thing is you can create one piece of content per month. You don't have to go crazy, but think about what is the one thing you can add per month. Maybe it is a blog post. Maybe it's a case study. Maybe it's an FAQ, something that answers those questions your ideal clients are asking. And this helps with search engine optimization. More pages on your website equal more ways to be found and position you as the expert. And an easy way to do this is if you record your consultation calls you have a transcript of that and you use AI, pop it into AI and ask, what are some of the questions or concerns that this client has had? Or look at our conversation. What can I add to my website to make it better, work better for this potential client and help others understand what I do better? Use that one-on-one experience. I find AI is a great way to help analyze information. Not as much create the information, but analyze and tell you what you can do. And second set of eyes. I love using it as a teammate in my team over here. Number 3 is making it easy to take action on your website. Those calls to action. When we do your website, when we work together, we make sure that there are clear calls to action. Your visitors should know exactly what to do next on every single page. Looking at the analytics, looking at who comes to your website, what pages that they go on, where do they go next, and checking those calls to action. Does it seem clear? Like, for example, if people are leaving, if you look at your exit reports on Google Analytics, if people are going to your services page and then leaving from that services page exactly, look at the calls to action on that page. Do you have any? Are you leading people to the next place in the process, in the next step? Making it sure it's easy for them to take the next step and remove all of that friction from your contact process. Number 4, track your numbers. And I mentioned this a little bit, but looking at how many people visit your site each month, what pages do they go to, how many people fill out your form, what percentage do those turn into clients? You have how many people fill out your contact form, that's your conversion rate, but then how many people actually turn into clients? And without the data, you're just guessing. But when you have that data, you can make smart decisions about what to optimize. I have some great episodes on data, episode 50, 51, and 52. Those are 3 essential tools to boost your website conversions, and I talk all about data, the easy ways that you can track it and what you can learn. The 5th thing is keep your content fresh. Google loves fresh content and it rewards websites that do this. So every month, update something. Look at your homepage, add testimonials, refresh your about page if your business has changed. The stale website loses rankings and it looks dated, and an active website keeps moving. So keep that content fresh. And then finally, get more specific with your messaging. The cleaner your message, the faster return on investment. And when we build your website, we talk a lot about messaging. Either we're working with a copywriter to write the copy or you're doing it yourself. But I give my clients a lot of feedback about the copy that they're writing because we want it to be specific, speaking to your ideal client. That is the way that you get best fit clients, and it helps with your return on investment. So here is what I want you to take away from this. There's a timeline involved, and it's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen in month 1. In the first few months, you're setting up, you're getting found by Google. By month 4, you're starting to generate leads. And by month 7 to 12, your website should pay for itself. And then after that, after year 1, the multiplier effect kicks in and it should just be working and working and working for you. And the real ROI, I want you to remember this. It's not just direct revenue. Like I want you to get money from your website. That's why we have it. But it is also time savings, confidence, positioning, compounding, and long-term business growth. And what can boost this return on investment? It's promoting your website everywhere, actively, telling people, whatever way you can get it out there, promotion, adding testimonials and content, optimizing based on data, making it easy for people to take action and keeping it fresh. And I want you to remember, if your website hasn't paid for itself within 12 to 18 months, something needs to be fixed. And it could be your website, it could be your sales process, or it could be your marketing, but there's something in your system that's not working. But for most small businesses who actively use and promote their website, the return on investment happens much faster than your website is an employee. It works for you 24/7. It's not going to ask for more money, but it just gets better at its job over time. And that is a pretty good investment in my mind, for sure. Now, if you want to make sure that your website is set up to pay for itself as quickly as possible, I encourage you to grab a coaching call spot with me, and I can help you create a plan for exactly that. Small ways that you can tweak the current website that you have to make it work better for you to attract more ideal clients and help you make more money. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll talk to you next time. And that wraps up another episode of Website Design Made Simple. I hope you found the insights shared in this episode valuable and takes you one step closer to creating a website that attracts more of your ideal clients and builds your brand. If you enjoyed this episode, please take a minute to leave a review on Apple Podcasts or a rating on Spotify. Your review will help us reach more small business owners like you who are ready to make more money with their website. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you in the next episode.